crime-scene footage of Sean Diddy Combs in the days leading up to his arrest in New York last September.
You want to put the stuff in my fanny pack, King?
The exclusive video obtained by Netflix shows Combs debating with his lawyers about strategy.
Listen to me.
This to show you his character.
Was that the reason for including it?
In addition to everything else, a documentary produced by 50 Cent has recently been released, focusing on Diddy's alleged crimes. The project explores the events surrounding his downfall and features a special segment with King Combs, Diddy's son. Through this inclusion, 50 Cent examines King Combs' involvement, offering viewers a deeper perspective on how family ties have intersected with the controversy and shaped perceptions around the entire situation overall today.
Combs allegedly found her a short time later and insisted she find him a place to sleep. She directed him to the yacht cinema, which was used as an extra sleeping area, where he blocked her in, the suit states. Christian Combs allegedly began to touch her and took off his clothes. The suit states that his blank was blank and he grabbed her arms and was trying to force the plaintiff to perform, brains on him, the suit states.
The entire ordeal began when Grace Omar, a former yacht stewardess, came forward with a disturbing account of events aboard a yacht chartered by Diddy. She stated that in December 2022, while working on the vessel, Christian, Diddy's son, pressured her to take a shot of tequila. She later became suspicious that the drink may have been laced with a harmful substance, raising serious concerns about what truly occurred during that trip.
Markey says that she had been working as a steward, providing food and drinks on that yacht for a 12-hour period, and she was 25 years old at the time. She believed that the trip would be a, quote, wholesome family excursion, but says it, quote, turned into a hedonistic environment, even describing rampant drug use amongst sex workers and celebrities who came on board. She believes that the alcohol on the yacht had been laced with drugs because she says women would have one drink and then almost immediately pass out or start falling.
She described how, moments after drinking, her surroundings began to blur and events quickly spiraled out of control. Grace alleged that Christian then confined her inside a room on the yacht, physically restraining her, touching her without consent, and becoming increasingly aggressive when she tried to get away. Each attempt to escape, she said, only escalated his hostility, signaling he had no intention of letting her leave. She recalled feeling trapped, powerless, and terrified, with no crew member stepping in to help. As minutes passed, the situation grew darker, she claimed, and the realization set in that her cries for assistance were being ignored, forcing her to face ordeal alone.
And now we focus on December 28th, 2022. She says that Christian reportedly arrives on that yacht, very intoxicated, and then pressures her to take shots of tequila. She says that she did, that Christian allegedly tried to get her to drink more, and she tried to get her to drink more in the yacht's makeshift recording studio. And that's important, and I'll explain why in a second. The complaint reads, at this point, defendant C. Combs violently grabbed plaintiff's arm and began hurting her. He pulled plaintiff to the seat beside him and prevented her from getting up. And she says she claims from there, that Christian allegedly kisses her neck and face as he gropes her legs, her breasts, her private areas. And according to her, she reportedly tells Christian, quote, excuse me, you don't touch my legs like that. I'll move my legs where I want to. If I want to do this, then I will. You don't touch my legs like that. Now, remember where I said this was happening, this recording studio? Well, the alleged assault was reportedly witnessed by Rodney Lil Rod Jones. This is a music producer who had apparently accompanied Combs basically everywhere for a year while they were working on Combs' latest album, Love, Off the Grid. And we remember that Rodney Jones has filed his own separate lawsuit against Sean Combs and others. And he was saying that he was in this recording studio when this was going on, when Christian and Markey were there. And he might even have some audio that was recorded of this interaction.
She stated that in desperation, she approached the yacht's captain for help, hoping for protection or support, but was met with indifference and later dismissed from her job. That was when she realized she had nowhere to turn. According to Grace, the most traumatic part of the ordeal later unfolded inside the yacht's private cinema room.
Christian ends up finding her and wants her to find him a place to sleep for the night in the yacht. So she takes him to the cinema room of the yacht. And that is when she claims Christian stopped her from leaving, groped her, took off all of his clothes, and tried to force her to perform oral sex on him. Now, she says she was allegedly able to fight him off. Someone walks into the room, and then she was able to leave. And she said when she reported this to the captain, according to her, the captain berates her. And she alleges that the captain may have even been paid off by Sean Combs to keep quiet about what happened. And I will tell you what's really interesting about this complaint. Embedded in the complaint are photographs that purport to be Omarke's arms with bruises on them. And that is really interesting. You don't usually see that in a complaint like this. Now, she's not only suing Christian Combs, like I mentioned before, for all those different causes of action, but she is also suing Sean Combs too. You see, Sean Combs is named as a defendant because she accuses him of aiding and abetting Christian's behavior, as well as having premises liability because he was the leaseholder of the yacht. Premises liability means that you have a duty to keep people on your property safe from injury.
Grace believes a deliberate cover-up followed the incident. She claims only select staff were asked to give statements, while she and her partner were excluded entirely. In her view, this supports the idea that Diddy prioritizes protecting his public image at all costs, even if doing so means ignoring victims, silencing experiences, and allowing allegations to be dismissed without attention.
About, oh, Diddy's turning gray behind bars. Who gives a flying fig about his hair? I don't care. I want this to be about the victims. That's what I want. That's how I perceive it. And I have dealt with so many victims. I've had victims that could never have a romantic relationship with a man after that. That feeling of helplessness. You can't fight back. And you just, then after, people may not believe you. If you're lucky enough to have children, it affects how you raise them. You know, like my fiance was murdered shortly before our wedding. You think I don't know where my children are right now? You don't think I'll look at Life 360 50 times a day? When my husband leaves to go out of town, I'm like, well, he could die.
It's clear that Gene Deal was deeply unimpressed by how the situation unfolded. His frustration was evident as he openly questioned the absence of accountability and transparency surrounding the incident. Known for his blunt, no-nonsense approach, Deal criticized how the matter was handled, especially what he viewed as a dismissive response to Grace's allegations. His reaction reflected a broader sense of disillusionment among observers who believed justice was being undermined by powerful individuals focused on protecting their own interests rather than addressing serious claims fairly.
The defense, meanwhile, argued the women were willing participants in fulfilling Combs' sexual desires and that all the encounters we heard about in this trial were consensual. And there you see, after the verdict, Diddy's family celebrating on the streets in New York City, doing push-ups on the sidewalk while others danced. They said a few words exclusively to ABC.
The discussion grew darker when he remarked that Christian never had to earn anything, having been born wealthy and spoiled while projecting a tough image he never lived. His comments conveyed deep disillusionment, highlighting the gap between the persona Christian tried to present and the reality of his privileged upbringing.
King clown. That's some real clowns. Man, listen to me, man. Let me just tell you something, bro. And this is real talk. He's still going to jail. You happy because he didn't get the RICO and the racketeering, so he gets to keep his money. He gets to keep his inheritance. He gets to keep all the shit that they stole over the years from other people. That's why he happy. Him and Puff wasn't that tight. They used to go at it. People close by would tell that story. Yeah, that's still his father. But you and I both know that extra shit right out there, come on, man. Outside the court, the judge might give him extra time for this and his antics. Puff not coming home, bro. And you got to realize at 50-something years old, he'll come out to get his Social Security or better. How old is he? Born in 69? We're like 54, 55, something like that. He'll come out and get his Social Security. He had to do 85% of his time. That right there, King Kong or Christian, acting like that in front of the courts, in front of everybody, They be taking these judges back information. These fucking the officers, they got people around there looking at that. There were victims in this case, bruh.
Another video later surfaced, this time showing King pressuring his girlfriend to twerk on camera. She was clearly uncomfortable, yet he continued, eager to display confidence and bravado. For Gene Deal, it likely felt like witnessing a younger version of Diddy emerging. The similarities between father and son appeared striking, especially in the way King seemed to seek attention and validation, seemingly unconcerned with how his behavior affected or embarrassed others around him in that moment.
When do you grow up, man, and be who you really are? Because you ain't no gangster. You don't know what a gangster is. You a prankster. You a prankster, son. Stop that. I think when the people heard the mixtape and they called him out on it, and they was checking him and they was trying to check him, but they lost, bruh. They don't have no guidance. The dude who's supposed to be doing, I don't know if he's security or whatever like that. Man, what the fuck is you doing out here like this? He gets on the ground and start doing pushes up with him. Bruh, for real? Man, put your shirt on and get your ass back in that damn car. Stop acting like you stupid. Act like you got some sense. That's when they making the dollar make them, bruh. The dollar is making them. What you happy about? You gotta realize they know his daddy's still going to jail. They happy because they feel like the government doesn't have a right to mess with nobody's assets at this time. The verdict on the RICO, non and void. Nothing. Racketeering, nothing. And I guess it was some kind of, what was the other charge? Sex or something like that? Not sex. They got the sex charges, but the RICO, the racketeering, and the kidnapping. The kidnappings, coercion, kidnapping, all this like that. All that was non-void. It went nowhere. It went nowhere. But you still partying? Your dad about to do some.
He warned that Christian's impulsive behavior is exactly the kind of recklessness that leads cases to be reopened. Investigators, judges, and prosecutors, he stressed, are always watching closely. When they see someone bragging, mocking witnesses, threatening people through lyrics, or celebrating outside a courthouse, they take notice. Gene ended his rant by admitting he no longer cared about defending him. To Gene, it was obvious that Christian's actions, attitude, and public behavior would eventually catch up with him in a serious and unavoidable way.
He ain't no real boss. He ain't no real king. He could make her own, earn her keep. He ain't no real king, man. Come on, man. These kids is clowns out here, bro. You know, it don't have really nothing to do with his father being in jail or nothing like that. You know, these guys right here, they always wanted to be, you know, instead of going and doing something positive in the world and being somebody positive in the world, they live this lifestyle of spoiled rich kids and been given enough to do nothing instead of being given something enough to do something. They've been given enough to do nothing instead of being given enough to do something. It's a difference. So, never had to work a day in his life. All he know is the hip hop scene. want to be something.
In addition to everything else, a documentary produced by 50 Cent has recently been released, focusing on Diddy's alleged crimes. The project explores events surrounding his downfall and features a special segment with King Combs, Diddy's son. Through this, 50 Cent offers deeper insight into King Combs' involvement and how family ties have become entangled in the controversy.
Anything for attention, you know, and if they want to make you believe that they happy, they want to fool you to believe that they happy, bruh. He's an attention seeker. I look back on all the things that all his sons have been doing. Well, just him, Justin, because Quincy ain't his son. That's Al B. Sure's son. King Kong has been the reckless of all of them that came to represent him. Did some mixtape with Kanye West, dissing the witnesses, threatening them with a rifle outside the courtroom with his shirt off, doing jumping jacks, screaming victory and all that. Talking about they going on tour, the reunion tour, whatever. Then having his girl twerk, or trying to get his girl a twerk or whatever. Like
the man who once traveled by private jet, walked red carpets, and hosted multi-million-dollar parties now lives inside a prison cell, surrounded by routine labor, a steel bunk, and constant paranoia. It marks a dramatic collapse for someone once nearing billionaire status. The unraveling began in September 2024 when Diddy was hit with serious charges including sex trafficking, racketeering, and operating a criminal enterprise. Lavish mansions and personal staff disappeared, replaced by the harsh reality of the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn, a facility widely criticized as one of the country's worst. The contrast is stark, showing how quickly power, privilege, and control can collapse under relentless public scrutiny today.
Diddy is just a working class stiff while he's at Fort Dix.
So when you're at a prison and somebody says, you read any good books lately? Diddy is the answer.
He's the guy to go to because we got video of him at Fort Dix reporting for work in the library where he is making recommendations and handing out different movies and books for his fellow inmates.
I'm really fascinated just by the library itself.
But you're seeing him here. This is him reporting to work, taking off his jacket, taking off his scarf, and settling in for a day on the job.
It looks like a public school library.
Yeah.
It's
this was the chapel, and this is the media library in the chapel, which is where Diddy's currently working. He's working in a Life Connections program, which is an 18-month program that helps rehab people, get them closer to spirituality, to charity groups, and with that, it will shorten his sentence. But in this media library, he helps inmates with religious material, rent out movies, that kind of stuff. You see him pushing a
really
cart
interesting
with a TV on it.
Yeah, I mean, he was in the laundry room when he first got there.
Yeah,
this got to be
his first assignment.
This got to be a promotion.
Yeah,
it feels like a promotion. It feels like maybe he tried the lunchroom and put in a request for something different.
Yeah, it does it does sound like he used maybe possibly some connections to get a better job.
So here's my question. I mean, that's the story.
Yeah.
My question is this. So Diddy had a certain persona before he got in all this trouble. And now he looks very different, very much older.
Yes.
When he gets...
Tonight, new video footage shows a violent altercation that ended with a corrections officer rushed to the hospital. The incident occurred earlier this month inside the Metropolitan Detention Center. The video captures inmates gathered in the day room before a fight suddenly erupts. As the camera pulls back, several prisoners scatter while others continue swinging and shouting. Officers rush in attempting to regain control and separate those involved. Later that night, our cameras recorded one guard being loaded into an ambulance outside the facility. The footage then cuts to inmates in handcuffs lined against a wall. Authorities have not confirmed charges or released details about the officer's injuries at this time.
Video tonight of a jail fight that ended with a guard being taken to the hospital. It happened earlier this month at the Metropolitan Detention Center. You can see a group of inmates gathered in the day room when inmates begin to fight. When the camera moves back, some inmates start scattering as others continue to fight. Guards rush in to try to break up the fight. That night, our cameras caught one of the guards being loaded up into an ambulance. Here that video is. Video later shows a line of inmates all in handcuffs against the wall. No word on if any of them were charged or what kind of injuries the guard had.
Inside the MDC, conditions reportedly deteriorated fast. Accounts suggest he refused prison food, fearing it had been tampered with. People around him claimed he appeared deeply anxious, barely sleeping, and convinced he was being targeted. The stress allegedly intensified to a frightening point, with reports indicating he was once found holding a knife to his own throat during a moment of extreme distress and paranoia.
There's an incident that we first learned about 2 weeks ago during Diddy's sentencing hearing, and he said, I was sleeping in my bed in the prison. It's a federal detention facility in Brooklyn called MDC Brooklyn, and there are federal inmates who are in many cases waiting for their trial as well. And Diddy claimed that somebody held a knife to his throat. He woke up and this guy basically had him, and he had the knife, and Diddy was at this person's mercy. Now, it's unclear what exactly happened from there. Was there a guard that came in? Did Diddy somehow fight this person off? Well, seems unlikely that happened. Or did the person just leave? Bottom line, this guy, at least according to people close to Diddy and Diddy himself, could have hurt him badly or even taken his life. And I think that was something they wanted known during the hearing because they wanted the judge to take some pity on.
At one point, he tried to stay occupied by organizing a Thanksgiving meal for fellow inmates and enrolling in self-improvement programs at the MDC. However, prolonged isolation and the collapse of his carefully maintained public image have clearly taken a toll. Adding to the pressure, a documentary examining his alleged criminal activities, produced by 50 Cent, has now been released, intensifying scrutiny and worsening his already fragile situation.
Them type of cells are built to mentally destroy you. Mentally, not physically, mentally.
Yeah.
They're not mentally, they mean they're to mentally destroy. And guess what? When people make things for you, they gonna do their job. You smoke weed, you gonna get high. You get put in that solitary, you gonna lose your mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it's there for. It's there to break you, to stop you. Oh, you wanna act up? Well, put him in there. Yeah, nigga, all the money, you know what PC Diddy think? You know, he gotta come down to what we call a real reality check. You gotta come back down to earth, homie. You never left. You just been so high up there, you thought you was in heaven.
But that's below earth. I'm in prison like hell, though. Like, shit.
It's just one step away.
Yeah.
Mama said you gonna end up dead or in the grave. Well, which one is it, mama? Dead or in the grave? You understand? I'm trying to figure out. Let's make that make sense. But right now, Diddy in the grave. He ain't dead. He's somewhere he can't. It's like being in a coffin you can't get out. It's like somebody threw dirt on you. You in there, but you can't get. He in the grave right now. He in Hades. He can beat on the dog. All the things. Let me tell you. Whoa, that got me hot right now.
Man,
the only thing gonna save you behind them balls is God.
Come on now.
Don't worry, man. I said it again. Not the guards. You can call for the rank. You can call lieutenant. You call the sergeant. Guards. God, you calling the wrong one. You gotta call God.
Damn.
That's the only person gonna save you behind them balls. You can call anybody else you want for help in there. Your mama, your daddy, lieutenant this, captain that. No. You should have been calling.
Federal records show that the earliest Diddy could be released is June 4th, 2028. However, that timeline hinges on his good behavior and completion of certain programs, neither of which can drastically reduce his sentence. Until then, he remains confined to the rigid routine at Fort Dix. Do you think his son Christian might follow in his footsteps? Share your thoughts in the comments below.